Welcome to your weekly conflict resolution news. This is the word in 10 minutes. And today we're having Yurin who's going to talk to us about comfort woman, which is a concept most of us actually haven't heard of. So it's going to be interesting. Hi Yurin, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So can you talk to us about this concept of comfort woman and just explain, because that was like the first time I heard about it like a week ago.
Sure. The comfort women are mostly Korean, Chinese, or other East Asian country women who served the Japanese Imperial Army during the World War II. They are like exactly the sex slavery at that time.
Okay.
But now it's become a very important diplomatic issue between Japan and those countries, especially China and Korea.
Yeah, I can understand that. If it's like slavery, sexual slavery during World War II, now it's like coming out, like, right? Okay, so one question. How did you actually get interested in that issue?
Well, in South Korea, actually, this is very sensitive, also very well-known issue for most of people. And I also part of Korean. Also, I study conflict analysis and resolution. So this is I think it's very interesting topic.
Okay.
Also, I also heard about only one side, like South Korean perspective. So I just want to know about like more like generally.
Okay, so I'm assuming you're from South Korea,
Sure.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what has been the responses those government, Korea, Japan, and China, have given to those women who were sexually assaulted during World War II?
Well, there's kind of sometimes the issues are really important, and sometimes people like I think it's very related to politics, government politics. Just say the issue actually starting from 1990s.
Okay.
At that time, the Japanese government attitude is quite positive because they want to. They're not significant, but they try to show their apology. So they promise they will compensate for those women. But however, after the government, there some governments did not. Also, some governments ignored. At this time, the Abe government is showed highly ignored attitudes for those women. So the relationship between the East Asia is really getting worse.
Getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So based on what you just said about different politics that were played in maybe ignoring the issue or bringing up, what has been the international community, or did the international community actually get involved in that issue?
Well, like U.S. government announced their how can I say let's say the Hillary Clinton when she served as the
Secretary
of State.
Mhm.
At that time, she shows that the comfort woman. The name is incorrect. So she should call them comfort woman. So they show their feelings and then more supportive attitude towards the comfort woman. But however, there is not like some legal action or like ICC or no, that it didn't happen.
Okay, you said that the word comfort was not the right one for whatever happened to them. Did someone try to come up with a different name, or is that how they are just called?
Well, that's very interesting, but Western society usually often call them like comfort women during the World War II for indicate the woman. But the comfort woman is now kind of name for kind of calling them just use the comfort women because in East Asian culture it's hard to call the other as a sex slavery. So it's kind of hard to name them. So we just use comfort women to indicate them. I know it's not quite correct name because comfort from whom, and so they're victims, right? But because of it's too sensitive, so I kind of understand why they call them comfort women.
So the culture itself is actually pushing that name,
Mm-hmm.
but it's re-victimizing them because of what happened.
That's true, but yes, but it's still call them like a sex slavery. It's hard to imagine in Korean society because, like, I don't know if he like if it's something happening here, like call somebody some elder, he's a former slavery. I don't know, is it
I don't know. I'm not from
yeah.
America, so I don't know.
But so it's like too sensitive because
I'm
you
assuming,
are
yeah.
a slavery, you're a sex slavery, so it's too heartbreaking. So.
It's understandable.
Mhm.
So you mentioned that happened in the 40s, and I'm assuming like early 50s. Those women are now like older. They have
Yeah.
kids, they have grandkids, and whatever. So how is the next generation affected by the name and also the legacy of
Sure.
what happened to them?
Well, actually, before 1990s, people didn't know about the existence of the comfort women because the victims did not open that issue. This is secret for them. So I understand because after World War II, even in Korean society, people would not accept them because they serve as like sexually serve the Japanese army no matter how they serve. So most of them did not talk about these issues. And many of victims said they didn't even marry someone else. So yeah, so their personal story is very sad. Most of them says. Also, most of Korean society is kind of very sense of oneness. There is like one ethnic group, so Korean society accept these issues personally. So that's also another kind of the children trauma in this society.
Okay. So according to your research and the studies you actually done, what are the differences between comfort women in Korea, Japan, or even China?
Well, I'm actually didn't know about how the situations in the comfort women in Japan. I heard about there are some numbers, but I'm not quite sure how they live. I should check about that too. Thank you. But the situation in China and Korea, I think, pretty similar. They protested and they request this proper apology and compensation. But now there is no satisfied compensation or sincere apology.
So the government didn't even apologize for what happened to those women?
Well, about early 1990s when the issue comes up, the Chinese the prime minister said something about sorry, but it was not official apology. Also, the government said they will compensate it, but the fund itself has many problems because it was not a government official fund. It's about donation. Also, it's not like individual compensation. They support the hospital or some facility for the elders, but so the victims was very upset actually at that time because this was not something about compensation.
Okay. Do you see a resolution to the issue, the conflict? Do you think what would be your alternative ways of actually resolving the conflict right now?
Well, first of all, the most important thing is Japanese government attitude because nowadays the situation even worse because the actually the conflict is very related to politics. So there's an up and down track according to the political situation. But Abe administration shows very strong right wing sides. Also, he didn't ignore many important issues. Also, say some very blunt speeches to re-victimize those victims. So they show more like a sincere apology. Also, they show, Japan is one of the leading country. They show more responsible action towards the past. Also, at the same time, I think Korea and China also show more positive and constructive action because there's the issue is very sensitive and people are very limited by the social trauma. So in order to improve and construct the relations in East Asia, I think both Japan and Korea and China also need to change their attitudes and take some new steps.
Okay, so you think that by not actually addressing the conflict woman issue is gonna like tell the countries apart and like decrease the stability in those countries?
Yes.
Okay. So for someone like me who actually never heard about the women and the issue behind it, what will be in like couple words? What will be the takeout message you want us to get?
Yeah, we know even nowadays there are lots of the women victims during the World War time zones in Africa and many other countries. But you know, the World War is about like 7 years ago. It happened 7 years ago. Also, Japan's has important role in international community. So they show their like how they cover their past and how they sincerely open that issue, and then they I don't think the legal action works because it's too long ago, but they can still show their like government side like apology for them. I think this is okay, and that's a very important message toward that what happened will be rewarded or be punished. So I think it's very important. So I feel really sorry that Japanese government, even now, they ignore the issue. There are so many big survived victims and evidence for this. So yeah.
Okay, thanks for coming and thanks for answering all my questions. I know it was
Amazing.
wow. Thanks for actually bringing that issue like to light and like align us about it. Thank you guys for following us, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.